In today's video, we are going to be making pumpkins in a million ways. Not a million, but like 6. And we're gonna do it on a budget, lots of different styles and variety. I hope that you enjoy it. Let's get started. Starting off, we are going to be using a couple of these palettes from the Dollar Tree. They are relatively the shape of a pumpkin because I think anything square, rectangle, or round can become a pumpkin when it comes to the fall. So we're going to take 2 of them to glue them together. I realized this glue, I told you I'm trying to use up stuff. This one's too far gone. This was just a solid brick inside. So we're going to move on to this one. I do like it. I think it's called like a Gorilla Household Glue. I love it because it dries clear. And anyways, we're going to just glue 2 of these together because I thought it would give a little bit more interest, and then it would also help it stand up better because it would be thicker. So we're just going to glue them back to back, or what I believe is the back, making sure that it is, level or straight even so that it will stand up fine. And I did put some little clamps from the Dollar Tree just to hold it in and make sure it dried well. And then we're going to give it a coat of paint. I am using Pumpkin by Waverly. You're going to see that a lot in this video and in this coming fall season. I do enjoy it. I think it's a good pumpkin color. And I am going to get in between the slats, but I'm not going to go crazy trying to get like down into all of the little divots. Also, just a little tip, if your paint is a little bit thick, just have your paintbrush a little bit more wet. I didn't actually water down the paint, but I did keep my paintbrush a little bit more damp. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Leanne, and I enjoy sharing budget-friendly DIYs on this channel. Lots of home decor, and occasionally some other things do get mixed in there, but it's always on a budget, whether it's Dollar Tree, thrift finds, clearance finds, repurposing stuff I have around the house that I just don't like anymore. Whatever it is, I like to do it on a budget, keep it simple and easy, and have fun. So if you're into that kind of thing, make sure that you subscribe to my channel before you leave and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on my future videos. Moving on, once we have this all painted and dried, I'm going to go in with some antique wax. Now, I am not just distressing it. I'm also going to try to give it a little bit of shape. We know it's square and not round, but we're going to try here. So I'm using a stencil brush from the Dollar Tree, a little bit of antique wax, dabbing it off onto just like a piece of paper so that it's not oversaturated. One side came out better than the other, but I just kind of heavily went around the edges and then faded as it went in, and that's how I chose to do it. Now I am going to use a cinnamon stick for my stem or my peduncle on this one here, and I am attaching this with that clear glue. Now you can use some hot glue. One thing to keep in mind with hot glue is it dries quicker, but sometimes that's not good depending on the project, and also it doesn't always dry as flat, so keep that in mind. Now for some embellishment here, I'm just going to use these little leaves. These are in a bag of scraps, literally scraps from picks. Sometimes it's just things I find at the bottom of my decor bin, and everything has just fallen apart. I just save things. And so this one had a little stem on it, so I'm just tucking it down in there, using a little tool to hold in the hot glue while it sets. And that is it for this one. For this pumpkin, I see how like the shading around the edges, I don't know, I thought it helped round it out a little bit, but I love pumpkins of all shapes and sizes and colors, and I don't feel like you can have too many in your decor for fall. Am I right? Let me know. But this is how this one came out. For this next piece, this is just a square block sign. It is not solid. You can see it's open in the back. This is just, I don't know, something I had laying around the house, or maybe a Hobby Lobby clearance, but I had scraped off all of the paint and whatever paper was on the front to just give me a solid base. And we're going to give this a couple coats of paint. I am just going with white. I'm using my Dollar General chalk paint, so it did take a couple of coats because that is a thinner paint. And anytime I'm swiping my paintbrush off to the side, it's because I found a little chunk or something. So give that a couple of coats, and once it is fully dry, I have these rub-on transfers. I think it's from, it looks like it says Redesign. These were given to me by somebody, and I don't do a lot of gold, but I thought this would be really pretty for fall. So these transfers, I am just wrapping it around my block, and I'm just using a popsicle stick here to rub this on. Now, the transfers, these ones really, they're different than other rub-on transfers because all of that gold is not transferring. There's like a pattern in there. You can kind of see it, but it's a little tricky with the lighting. And it sticks well, but you have to rub it to make sure you transfer all of it. But you can see on the top corner there, it kind of folded over and just transferred immediately just from a light touch. But this was fun. So I did kind of the edges and wrapped it around, and then it did stick really well, the transfer paper itself, so it wasn't really moving around on me. Anyways, you can see I'm going to go for a few different styles. The pumpkin is the theme of the video, but I'm going to go for a few different styles and ideas of different things you can use. So whether you have gold transfers or something else, whether it's redesign, whether it's IOD or something you find on Amazon, I would really love it if Dollar Tree would come up with some more. I don't think they're watching my videos, but I would love it if they would hear our request. Anyway, I thought the white and gold was really pretty, so I'm going to use a wood piece for my stem or my peduncle, and I'm going to paint it gold. We're going to go a little bit fancier with this pumpkin, not quite as rustic as I usually do. The little wood piece came from just one of those packs from like Dollar Tree, but you can also get a stick from your yard. There's so many things, just like there's so many things you can make into a pumpkin. There's a lot of different things you can use as a stem for your pumpkin as well. So I just dried it in between so that I could, hold one end. I did paint the top, but I did not paint the bottom. I don't know that it would affect the glue, but I did do it, leave the paint off the bottom just to be sure. And then we're going to Mod Podge the whole piece. Now, because I was using that glue, it doesn't dry as quick as hot glue, so I did have to hold it there for a little while, but I just thought it was going to stay better than hot glue. So another thing that would be great would be super glue gel. I recommend super glue gel over super glue because, well, super glue I feel like is just going to stick to everything. I don't trust myself with it, but the super glue gel, because it's thicker, is nice. So that might be a good option as well. And then I have this white berry garland. It's more of like a pearly white color. I believe I got it from Dollar Tree, but you can get this at Hobby Lobby as well. Sometimes the end, because it's wired, when you trim it, comes unraveled. So I was just putting a little dab of hot glue to keep it from unraveling. I am twisting it around a paintbrush. I know that kind of angles because it's not the same width all the way around, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to make our little curly cues, the little vine pieces for the pumpkin. Like I said, we're doing lots of pumpkins, but we're going to try to keep them, different and unique from one another. And I'm being very careful to not put any pressure on that stem, and I just twisted that on itself because it is wired, and let those kind of hang in a haphazard way. Let me know what you guys think of this one. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it's fun to try out some different styles and not always do the same thing. And so this is just a great fun little piece, to switch things up a little bit. Let me know what you guys think about it. For this one, we are going to use these wood planks from the Dollar Tree along with some of those wooden tumbling tower block pieces from the Dollar Tree. I know that Dollar Tree prices have gone up. Some things are still a good price there, and I also have a bunch of it in my stash. So be creative. You can use something similar if you don't have these exact pieces, but I'm going to use 4 planks and I think a total of the tumbling tower blocks. Again, I'm using this glue. I like it. It dries clear. It's like, I think it's called Gorilla Household Glue. And I'm just making sure my wood blocks are flush. You don't want them hanging over the edge at all. We're going to basically make ourselves a little box, and I needed something to glue all of the pieces to, so that's why I'm doing this. And the square planks could also work, but I went for rectangle because we're doing a variety here. Now, some of these I did not let them set to dry long enough because it does take a little bit longer, but I feel like hot glue for this would just leave too many gaps. Glue often dries, hot glue dries or starts to dry before it's, before you've had a chance to smush it. So a couple of those pieces came off because they weren't quite dry, but that's all right. We're going to reattach them, and you see we're assembling a box. If you are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. It's a really simple way to help me out. It doesn't matter what device you're watching on, you can thumbs it up, give it a like. It just helps YouTube know that people are enjoying it and makes them more likely to share it with others. Also, if you wouldn't mind sparing one of your hypes for my video, I would appreciate it. I know you only get a limited amount, so I appreciate it when they are given to my video. But just thought I would put that out there. It is something that YouTube is doing now. All right, so we are not going to have a bottom to our pumpkin, but I needed a top. and I didn't want to cut any pieces of wood. So I just cut out some thick cardstock. We're going to use the same glue. I am going to spread it out along the rim because there's not a lot of surface here, which is going to be fine, but I wanted to make sure it stuck on there. But I wanted a surface to, be able to put a stem because of course we're turning this into a pumpkin. But if you had a piece of wood or something else, that would work. But this really held up just fine. Once everything's dry, we're going to give that a coat of pumpkin by Waverly. I should have checked the texture of this wood first because I did end up having to sand it and then do a second coat. I would have not needed to do a second coat had I sanded it first. And it was really only one of the planks that was really bad. And honestly, sometimes that wouldn't have mattered for me, but I wasn't going for a super rustic look for this pumpkin, so I did end up doing that. But we're going to paint the top. I'm just being, not putting a lot of pressure because it is just hollow inside. Yeah, you can see how it dried. It wasn't smooth. So I gave that a sanding and then a second coat of paint. So just pay attention to that. Save yourself a step if you, pay attention to that beforehand. So we're going to go in with more of those gold rub-on transfers and wrap this one in those as well. One thing that I like to do that I think is nice in decor is having things that are similar but different. So I have two pumpkins with the gold foil. There's going to be some similarities, but one is tall, one is shorter, one is more thin and oblong, one is clearly a square. One is orange, one is white. So they are not the same, but they are similar, and I think that pairs well nice in decor, and you'll see that often in decor that you can buy in the store as well. So that's just something that I have fun doing sometimes. So we're gonna rub, and this actually, like I said, it transfers really easy. It sticks really instantly, but I was trying to make sure I didn't miss any of the pattern and design. It was a little hard to see because the whole sheet is gold, but the whole sheet isn't transferring. So anyways, wow, I left in a little bit more of this than I thought, but hope y'all are doing well. Looking forward to fall. I'm not rushing summer, but I am very much looking forward to fall, mainly like the food. I'm looking forward to more hearty meals. Actually, and I love a wardrobe change, although it's going to be a while before the wardrobe change comes to North Carolina. Now for this piece, we're also going to make sure we put a little bit on top as well. Let me know down below, what are you guys feeling? Are you feeling fall? It's so hard growing up. School usually started like the beginning of September, and I feel like that kicked off fall mentally. But because school starts so much earlier a lot of places, I don't know. I feel like I don't know when I'm supposed to enjoy fall. Plus, I grew up in New York where fall felt fall much earlier. Now I live in North Carolina and it takes a little longer for the cool down. Anyway, I guess I was rambling there, but now you see what I did. I painted the stem gold just like we did for the white one, and we're going to, we attach that and we're going to Mod Podge this whole piece. I don't know if those transfers really needed the Mod Podge, but when in doubt, I say seal it. I did have to hold that stem. It does have give because it's just cardboard with hollow underneath, but I just held it without like pressing it like crazy. You guys know, you guys can figure this out. All right, more of the berry garland. I shared all of this. I tried to shorten it, but I did share it all again because not everyone watches the whole video. Here is how this one came out. Let me know what you guys think of this. I know it's a different shape. It's a little bit taller, but I still think it's given off pumpkin feel, Pumpkins do come in all shapes and sizes in real life and also in YouTube crafting life as well. So I don't know. Here's how they look together. I love how the one stem is like crooked. I don't know. There's just something about it. But let me know what you guys think about this pair as well. I think it's just a fun little set. Our next pumpkin is just a square. This is one of those wood blocks from Dollar Tree, previously used for other things, but we're just painting it. So this is more about a different technique and style than what we're using. Any block square piece would be fine. I painted it in the color Pool, I believe it is, from Waverly chalk paint. I did paint one side just the orange. I already did that, I skipped showing you that. But that was the bottom because I didn't need to do the crackle effect on the bottom of the pumpkin.
So we are now putting on the white school glue. I just put it on pretty messy, kind of thick. The thicker it is, the more crackle you get. And then I did pour out some orange paint onto a plate because I didn't want it to get glue back in my bottle of paint. You want to go over the glue as little times as possible, otherwise you're just picking it back up. You can let the glue dry if you want, or you can do it wet. I often just do it wet. Once I realized you could do it wet, I was like, I'm not waiting. I don't have a lot of patience when it comes to crafting. I feel like I'm pretty good with patience and other things. But anyway, that is how you get the crackle effect. So I put the blue on underneath because I thought this blue and orange would be a nice effect. So whatever color is underneath is going to be not seen quite as much, but you're going to see here how this crackle happens. You want to dry it down. I am using a heat gun. You don't have to have high heat. You can use, a hair dryer or something too, but you see how it is crackling? Oh, I love this. So a really fun way to kind of get like a just fun crackle aged look. And now, of course, we got to officially turn it into a pumpkin. These wood pieces, if you can find them, I have a couple, well, 2 or 3 different sizes and deal, like different bags I got, and I'm using them forever. But, go for a walk in the park and find a couple sticks as well. So just holding that on real good, and then I'm going to go ahead and Mod Podge this as well, just to seal it in. I don't know. I always worry with the crackle that because there's crack that maybe it would like continue to flake off or something. I don't know. Like I said, when in doubt, Mod Podge. And then we're going to add a little leaf from a scrap. With these, I find to be helpful because we're going to then add in some moss as well, just to, keep things different. Don't want them all to be exactly the same. Just having a little tool. This is like a little metal hook from the Dollar Tree, or a popsicle stick or a wooden skewer or something, so that you can really press into the hot glue without, I don't want to like press against the stem and break that off. But I love how this came out. I say that also because the glue probably had not set long enough because I keep things moving. Once it's set, you'll be fine. Anyway, I love how this one came out. Let me know what you think about the crackle look. Does the square pumpkins bother you? I think it's fun, and I love that little pop of the blue through. I think it's a good complement to the orange. I've been having a lot of fun crafting with cans lately. And when I had a smaller can for tomato sauce, it's like the 8-ounce can, I was like, oh, this is so cute. This needs to be a pumpkin. So that's what we're going to do. Now, painting the metal. Sometimes brush strokes don't bother me, but I do feel like it's so intense when you're painting something like a can. So I am stippling on the pumpkin by Waverly, and then at the top just trying to get in like those little, grooves up top there. I think I did like one and maybe a half coat to touch up some spots. That's it there. I'm also going to do a cinnamon stick for my peduncle here. It was a little too long, so I just cut it in half. I was trying to be careful so that I didn't like split it. And once again, going to glue that on to the top. I thought about distressing this one with some antique wax, but I'm trying to have a little variety. So you do you. But I think that with all of these different ideas, maybe you can find something in your home to make it into a pumpkin. These are totally different leaves. I think any color shade. I was trying to like tilt this back for the camera, but I didn't really need that little bag of stuff there. I was actually hoping to use one of those leaves on one of my pumpkins, but they just didn't work for any of my projects. We're once stumbling over my words because I'm talking too fast. We're once again going to add some moss. I should redo my voiceovers when I do things like that, but I don't. So hi, welcome to my channel. I'm just gonna add in some moss, and I don't know, fun little look. Let me know what you guys think about this cute little round pumpkin, the little can. I just think it's a fun little, I don't know. I've been enjoying doing all the tin cans. So get ready, save them up. They're coming for more, gonna be in more videos, no doubt, between fall and Christmas and afterwards. But let me know what you guys think of this sweet little tin pumpkin. All right, we are majorly changing gears, but I am not going off theme. There is a pumpkin to come. I am still going to show you different ways to make a pumpkin, but we're going to start off with this sign. This is from Dollar Tree. Took off the twine, took off the sticker. We got to get that jingle all the way out of here. It looked like the paper was peeling off, but it really wasn't. And I was not in the mood to sand. Sometimes I sand, clear it all off. Sometimes I cover it up. Now, if the paper looks like it's going to come up, just take the time, soak it, scrape it, get it off. Because it's just going to come, your finished project is going to come off anyway. But we're going to turn the front into the back. I did the iron-on method with the, to cover this up. So Mod Podge, let it dry, took some brown craft paper, put some parchment paper, iron. You guys have probably seen it, but I don't like to assume because, not everyone is a longtime viewer or a longtime crafter. So that is how that goes. And then I just use my finger sander. I sand off the excess. And then I also use it to clear off the rest of the sticker on the back. And then repoke the holes because that's important. We're going to hang this sign up. And now the back is the front. And I'm using a chippy brush, but a heavy coat of some white paint just to give us a nice little rustic-y background here. Do that to your heart's content. So a while back, I saw these little amber colored glass filler, vase filler pieces in my stash. And I was like, these need to be a pumpkin. They do. The amber color. It's so pretty. Now I have them mixed in a bag with just regular rock from, all my vase fillers. So I had to pick them all out. But you can get these Dollar Tree, any craft store, Walmart, whatever. I am going to speed this way up, but I am going to give you a couple of little tips of why I think a glue like this is helpful. You don't have to use this glue, but I do recommend a liquid glue. In fact, it's possible that even just like liquid Elmer's glue would work. I don't know. But this is a pretty good glue. It's good for a lot of different surfaces. I apologize if you can hear an airplane overhead right now. I am not home. So if the audio has also been off, I've been in a hotel. And a while back from when these videos are actually going up, but I wanted to keep working and I'm near an airport. Okay, so hot glue is going to, I think, cool too quickly on the glass beads and won't lie flat, and it also doesn't give you any wiggle room. This white glue sets pretty quickly, but not so quickly that I can't shift it a little bit. So yes, this is sped up a lot, but it is not sped up, but I did go fast, I should say, because I wanted to have, if I needed to shift things a little bit, because I was trying to, make them fit together. They're not all the exact same size, that I thought it would be beneficial to be able to shift them around a little bit. So that's just my thought. So we're just freehanding a pumpkin here. It's not going to be a perfect pumpkin, but we're just going to keep on going with this. Did I leave a lot of this in here? Hey, if you made it to this point of the video, why don't you leave me a pumpkin emoji? Now, the only pumpkin emoji, I don't know why, is the jack-o'-lantern, and that's fine. I wish it was just a regular pumpkin, but if you made it to this point of the video, leave me the jack-o'-lantern or pumpkin emoji down below. So while I was building this, I was like, I need to figure out the stem, so I chose the little wood piece for my stem. We're going to glue that in, and then I wanted to build the rest of my pumpkin, around it. Now we're going to go to our embellishment. I pulled out a couple of leaves and this burlap bow. I'm going to just layer these 2 leaves. They're different shades of green, different texture. And then I just figure out the placement of everything. I do use hot glue for these, even though the glass beads, I wasn't sure if it would I just worked quickly. And I also put a little glue on the wood stem as well. But I wanted to have different embellishments on the different pumpkins just to give you guys some ideas. So I needed the stem, I needed the leaf, but I put a bow here, and then I'm going to reattach the old twine, but if that's not salvageable, then just put something new. I purposely trimmed it right next to one of the knots so that I wasn't losing too much length. Keep in mind, this is going to be a heavy piece. Those glass beads are pretty heavy, so just keep that in mind when it comes to displaying this. But I love how this one came out. I feel like it's a fun, artistic piece. Like a more artistic expression of a pumpkin, but I think it's fun. And those amber beads glass beads were just calling to be made into a pumpkin. So let me know what you guys think about this one down below.
That's going to do it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new. Make sure your notification bell is turned on. Leave me a comment down below letting me know which one was your favorite. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.